Alright, so prep on the octopus can be pretty simple. We're gonna hit it with some kosher salt here, sprinkle it on both sides, and then when we put it in the Ziploc bag for the sous vide cooking, we're gonna add in some oregano, fresh oregano. We're gonna add in some olive oil and a couple bay leaves. So pretty simple, and then we're gonna get some really nice flavor from the grill, and we'll finish it with a nice lemon dressing. That is one dead octopus right there. Most octopus you'll find is frozen. Very rare to get fresh octopus, and that's fine. Frozen octopus tastes great. It's one of those pieces of seafood that does very well frozen. So don't be alarmed if all your fishmonger or supermarket has is frozen octopus. But the one thing you want to look at is if it's raw versus blanched, because if it's already been cooked, then you don't need to cook it for very long. This one is raw, so we are going to need to cook it the full 4 hours. And I just find that you can impart a lot more flavor on the octopus when you cook it from its raw form, but both will come frozen. A neat little trick that I picked up in the sous vide world is, so I use just Ziploc gallon bags. Some people go vacuum sealers, but with this one, if you roll it over about an inch, just like that, as you put in your raw seafood, raw meat, if it's going to come into contact with the lip here, this is going to be on the inside of the bag. So you can keep everything a lot cleaner by rolling over about an inch here and then putting your protein in like we're about to do right now. So octopus is going in the bag, and I'm not worried about anything touching it at all. Now I got a nice clean outside of the bag. All right, now it's time to get some flavor into this bag. We like to keep fresh herbs on hand at all times. So my mother-in-law has a bit of an oregano factory at her house, and she brings by sprigs every time she comes up, and it grows like a weed. So pretty soon this is going to be just the house of oregano. But it's nice to just be able to take off some leaves that are growing here and drop them right into the bag. So we got fresh oregano we're dropping in here. Oh, it smells very fragrant. We're gonna add in some good quality extra virgin olive oil in here as well. And then we're gonna drop in 2 bay leaves. And at this point you can also put in some lemon or lemon zest, but we're gonna be pretty lemony with the dressing at the very end. So this is what we're gonna do right here. So one note on closing this bag, you want to close it about 90% because we're going to get all the air out through the water displacement method. So we'll close it almost up to the finger here. Give this a little squeeze. Everything gets incorporated real nice in there. And then we take our almost finished bag here and we drop that in. And the water is going to force the air out of the bag. And then we'll just close it up right here. And then we're ready for the 4-hour bath. 2 hours in, and the octopus has given off a lot of its liquid. It's just going to sit there in its own juices, get nice and tender, and we'll pick it back up in about 2 more hours. All right, so the octopus has been in the bath for about 4 hours. It's gotten nice and tender. Now we're going to take it out and finish it on a hot grill. And you're going to see that it's gotten significantly smaller. We're going to discard all this liquid here in the sink and get our octopus patted dry. Ooh, that is hot. Some people will keep that liquid for a sauce. I'm not going to be doing that here, but we will get this big boy ready to go. Okay, so there is our octopus. We're gonna take the head off. I'm gonna get everything patted down dry. And we're just gonna be cooking the tentacles tonight. The head doesn't taste very good. Just cooking tentacles. And then we're gonna do shrimp and scallops for seafood feast. All right, while I was patting it down, the head came off. That's fine, we're not gonna be cooking that. We are just gonna be eating these beautiful tentacles here. So it is, oh man, that smells amazing. Already. Okay, so our tentacles are looking good. We're gonna pat them in some olive oil and then throw them right onto a very hot grill. These beauties have been sitting in some nice olive oil, and it's time to take them out to the grill. It's gonna be a good night. Grill's been getting nice and hot. We're at about 600 degrees here. I put in a couple big wood pieces because I wanted some more fire. And we're just gonna go for a pretty quick char. All right, our octopus have been grilled, and we are ready to take them off our grill. They've gotten a very nice char. Pro tip, when you're going to your fishmonger, your supermarket, if you get whole shrimp, they are significantly less expensive than the peeled and deveined varieties. So something like this, these are pretty large shrimp. They're $9.99 a pound. We're gonna take the heads off, save them for a delightful little shrimp stock we're gonna make later on. We'll get these puppies peeled up, clean, and make sure you get your poop vein out of there because nobody wants a poopy shrimp for dinner. This is some of the most poop I've ever seen in a shrimp. We've got our beautiful shrimp peeled and deveined and these giant sea scallops. And we're gonna season them very simply with some kosher salt and fresh cracked pepper. And then we'll get the other side of them once they're in the hot pan. I definitely recommend getting your pans onto the stove at least 10 minutes before you're going to put anything on them, just to let them get a chance to heat up. So you don't want anything going into a lukewarm pan. And also highly recommend patting dry any seafood or meat that you're going to cook, because if it's wet, then there's a very good chance that once you put that onto a hot surface, be it a grill or a pan, it's going to start to steam, and we're not looking to steam it. All right, so I'm gonna do the shrimp and the scallops in separate pans because I want the scallops to be in a little bit of a hotter pan and they're gonna cook less. So I've got our shrimp pan here. We're going to do both of them in a very simple mixture of some good quality olive oil and butter. Don't skimp on the oils because the more of them, in general, the better. It's going to transmit all the heat down. So we've got the olive oil down. Give the pan a little swirl here, and then we'll get started putting our shrimp down. So we'll go seasoned side down, and then we'll hit the back side with salt and pepper while the seasoned side cooks. And shrimp go pretty quick, scallops go even quicker, just a few minutes. And we'll get the scallops down as well. This is a hotter pan. A nice brown crust. They smell amazing. Just slightly buttery already, and we haven't even thrown any butter in there. Try not to move them around. We want them to get a nice crust. And we're going to add our butter in here. Butter makes everything better. Now that this is cooking, we can season our unseasoned sides. It smells magnificent in here. There's just something about butter melting. It's a beautiful thing. So again, just some simple kosher salt. Some fresh cracked pepper. Typically when I'm doing seafood, I'll do it with Old Bay, but go nuts with your seasonings. Just since we've got that beautiful lemon dressing that we're going to use a little later, we're going to keep it pretty simple. Oh yeah, now those scallops are perfect. We want it to be nice and medium inside with a beautiful brown crust on the outside, and that butter is just doing magic over here. We'll check on our shrimp. There we go. Once the shrimp turn just white pinkish, after going from opaque, they'll be done as well. They're developing some really nice flavors here in the butter. Alright, so our shellfish has been sauteed, our octopus has been sous vide and grilled, and now we got to put it all together. So my best friend Dave that taught me how to cook, he's a classically trained chef. He said we eat with our eyes before we eat with our mouths. So you want to make the presentation as pretty as possible. It's a chance to be a little artistic, so let's do that. The octopus smells absolutely amazing, and we're gonna finish this with a lemon oil sauce that I bought from our local Greek restaurant that I've never tried before in my life, and I hope it's fantastic because everything we've eaten there, including the octopus, has been delicious. And the best thing that we can do with fresh, beautifully cooked seafood is just to douse it in fresh lemon juice here. So we'll do that. And then we'll add in a little lemon sauce here. All right, so here we are, seafood extravaganza. We've got shrimp, scallops, and octopus. They're just swimming in this beautiful lemon sauce that we have here. Hope you enjoyed the video. We're sure gonna enjoy this meal. You can never have too much fresh lemon on fresh seafood.